now. So, Perk, Shanae, no Luka, no LeBron. It's a good thing he's him in Lakerland. Austin Reaves had himself a night. We're going to head to Minnesota where the Lakers were visiting the Timberwolves. No Anthony Edwards in this one either. Perk, it's been quite the week for Austin Reaves. He came in, he had 41 points, he had 51 points, but last night he had a little help from Jake LaRavia.
Absolutely, but look at this pass right here. Doesn't that remind you of Luka, Braun, AD, Braun, that full-court awareness? That's what you call greatness.
And Austin loving it as well. Next possession here, the Lakers in transition. Reaves, this connection again, Perk.
I know, look at the spacing, the sprinting of the floor, the driving kick. Nice little move right there off the one leg, little Dirk action.
So let's go to fourth quarter now. The Lakers lead 102-89. Austin Reaves drives, connects again with LaRavia. Drains the three. Jake LaRavia finished with a game, 27 points, 10 of 11 shooting. Anthony Edwards and a fan could not believe it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, Shanae.
I know. Well, they know him now.
Yeah, if you don't know, now you know.
The scouting report, but that backcourt was cooking. Austin Reaves, he was facilitator, but also, you watch right here, the T-Wolves started sniping back.
Yeah, they started to really close this game, and Anthony Edwards loving it. The Lakers, have you met a closeout? Come on, fam. What are we doing?
A lot of people
here?
were nervous at this point. They were getting the looks that they needed to. The Lakers defense, a little sus down the stretch. But then, you know what that calls for later on? A little bit of a hero.
And
right.
Julius Randle was cooking all night, what you call big boy.
He was asking for ice balls. He wanted the ball. He wanted the matchup. He wanted the smoke.
Underrated bag.
So what do the Lakers need? I need a hero. Austin Reaves. Guy you want with the ball in his hands, drives.
Splits the screen and roll.
Tough
nice
little
little
floater.
feathery touch.
And look at the celebration,
too.
Yeah.
This is a Lakers team that's happy for each other's success. That's a good sign.
We love to see it. Lakers win 106-105. Reaves had 28 points. Here he was after the game. But before that, he joined some elite company. He hit a buzzer beater in a game where he racked up 25 points and 15 assists. Magic Johnson was the first player ever in NBA history to do it against the Suns in 1989. And nearly 20 years later, LeBron pulled off the hat trick. He capped off a 37 and 15 and 10 night with a game winner over Jimmy Butler at the buzzer. And then there was Austin Reaves. That's it. That is the list. Shanae, how was it that Reaves was able to get this done down the stretch? We got to take one more look at this shot here. So impressive.
I feel like anytime we have a game winner, a buzzer beater in the NBA, we got to do something. So I'm asking you guys to tell me, like, what should we do? Should, like, jump? Something crazy, because it was wild. With 1:45 left in the third, the Lakers were up by 20. And then after a huge T-Wolves run, they were down by 1 with 10 seconds left. Then Austin I'm him Reaves with his first buzzer beater. Let's break it down. So they knew what they wanted, the Lakers. They wanted a switch. That's why Rudy Gobert is ringed right here. He does a good job going up against Jaden McDaniels, who's also a great defender, but their switch is coming. So Austin is going to bait it. Good screen by DeAndre Ayton. Now, when you have a big out there, you split the screen. It doesn't matter that he's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, but watch Dante DiVincenzo right here. He thinks he's going to go all the way to the rim. He goes for the charge. Last minute hits the floater. It was a beautiful shot by Austin Reaves, understanding the game. What this showed me was his basketball IQ. And y'all, Austin Reaves, he's having a generational start. He is the second NBA player in NBA history to average 40 points and 10 assists on 50, 40, 90 shooting. The only other person that got that type of numbers, that type of production, they made a nickname for him. Dame Time, Damian Lillard. Great start for AR.
Okay, so the nickname is, the bank is then open. People need one for AR, right? They may have seen this buzzer beater go down after midnight on the East Coast, but that didn't keep social media, the praise from pouring in. Some people may be surprised with what they're seeing from Austin Reaves, but you know who's
my
not?
tweet made it up here.
Well, we had to blur out LeBron's. It's the only reason it's not up there. All right.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
All right,
let's take a listen to Austin Reaves. He's not surprised.
I was with my mom's best friend. I was probably like 7, and I didn't even really play basketball yet. And she asked me what I wanted to do when I was older, and I said I wanted to play in the NBA. And I had played basketball in the yard and stuff. And she was like, because I played a lot of baseball, and she was like, you mean the MLB? And I was like, nah, I want to play in the NBA. And I don't know why I said it, because I didn't love the game at that point, but it was meant to be. And Yeah, I mean, it's obviously fun when the tie, but you know, as low as you get, sometimes the struggle's fun too. You have to figure out how to get through it. You got to be a problem solver on the go. It's not easy. It's been a fun week, but you know, there's a lot of basketball to go.
There is, but we've been having fun watching it. Over the last 3 games, as we say hello to our senior writer, Brian Windhorst, Austin Reaves, we've seen the scorer, we've seen Austin Reaves, the facilitator, we've seen Austin Reaves, the finisher. Perk, what's the most impressive part?
Everything. Underrated defender. We know he can put the ball in the bucket. We respect his handle and his being able to create for others and himself. But I saw greatness last night. I saw greatness. And y'all didn't heard me over the last 4 or 5 years. What I always say about superstars, star players. When you're able to get yours and make others around you better. That's what we saw last night. Austin Reaves, the ultimate floor general, last night making guys around him better. LaRavia, career night. Rui Hachimura, cooking. DeAndre Ayton catching in his sweet spot with that feathery little 15-footer. Damn it, that's what I saw last night was greatness.
Well, I think the question becomes, Lakers fans are watching this, they're getting excited, and they think, all right, well, we're going to get Luka back, hopefully, as soon as next week. We're going to get LeBron back at some point in November. So, Brian, the void for him to fill these roles, it won't necessarily be there for long. How can Reaves sort of build off of this stretch when those two come back?
Well, they need to realize that they can run sections of the game through Austin Reaves, and that's what they're going to, I'm sure J.J. Redick is going to do. The thing about this game that was so impressive to me, the entire Timberwolves game plan was set up against him. They put Jaden McDaniels, their 6'8", or their 6'10" defensive ace, on him. That's the kind of treatment the other team's best player gets. And Reaves was getting trapped in this game. They were really trying to force him, and guess what? He didn't have a great shooting game. He was 9 of 24. McDaniels did a good job in this game, but he generated 24 assist opportunities. He went from being the guy who was going to score 40 or 50. They didn't want to let him do it, so he created for his teammates. Guys, that is what a superstar does. He takes what's given to him and he dominates whatever is given to him. That's how Luka plays. That's how LeBron plays. And this message that Austin is sending is that's how I can play too.
Brian, the most magical unlock of this game, this masterpiece by Austin Reaves, even though it wasn't perfect, was the fact that he unlocked DeAndre Ayton's game. To me, that's the most sustainable thing for Lakers' success. It's not just LeBron, Luka, and Reaves. They need a big that can be productive, and we saw that in the short roll. DeAndre Ayton, 8 for 11, 17, and I think 10. Those are the types of plays that you need from your big. He was not timid. He was playing with force. He has some stomp in him, a little bit of stomp. That's what Perk's been wanting. So if DeAndre Ayton is able to be this confident, I mean, at points he was ducking in over Rudy Gobert, knocking down that hook shot. He had a beautiful touch in the mid-range. That's the DeAndre Ayton that will make the Lakers so much better, and you have to credit Austin Reaves for making his teammates better.
And again, look at those pocket passes. So it wasn't DeAndre, keep rolling, I need you at the rim.
Short
no,
roll.
I've been watching film, and I saw with CP3, you like it in the short roll. So, again, greatness to Austin Reaves.
And I don't know if Austin Reaves is a 25-point-per-game scorer when those two come back, but I do know since Luka debuted, Austin Reaves, Luka, LeBron all have averaged 20 and 5, right? That is what the Lakers need, along with DeAndre Ayton, for them to be able to keep pace in this very crowded Western Conference. All right, I think we can all agree that Reaves has dominated on the floor, and it has been so impressive to watch. But the biggest story in the NBA, it continues to develop. The Hall of Famer and Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups were arrested a week ago involvement in an illegal poker operation that was tied to the mafia. Now, Billups is also tied to a second related but separate illegal sports betting FBI investigation, and he will appear in Eastern District Court in New York on November the 24th. So right now on ESPN.com, our senior writer Ramona Shelburne has posted an extensive story. It's really focusing on how Portland has worked through this shocking situation, because as a team, they still are trying to play these games. And Ramona Shelburne joins us now. Throughout your piece, many of the Blazers and others have come to the defense of the character, I think, of Chauncey Billups. But how does the federal government right now see Chauncey, and what's sort of the discrepancy there?
Well, it's really hard to square, because people who know Chauncey Billups can't imagine how he could be involved in this, let alone know people who were involved in this. I talked to Larry Brown, his former coach in Detroit, and he said he's texted him every day, just trying to check in with him. He's the last person I would think would be involved in this. But the federal government makes very clear in its indictment that they saw Billups as a member of the, quote, cheating team. That not only was he there at these poker games, but he was aware of the scheme going on. They write in the indictment that some of the co-conspirators said that Chauncey and this other man named Eric Ernest specifically lost a hand to avoid suspicion of cheating. And they have text messages from the co-conspirators in this who say he knows all the signals. In other words, he not only knew the signals, but used them to lose hands to avoid suspicion.
So how deep exactly, Ramona, did these connections, is the FBI alleging that they go?
Well, one thing that floored me, okay, these are two separate indictments, but a lot of the men that you hear mentioned in this are the same people. So Eric Ernest, who is the man he was allegedly at the table with and they lost the hand on purpose, this is the same man that he allegedly tells the information before the game against the Chicago Bulls back in 2023 that half the starting lineup is going to be sitting out. Then Eric Ernest, who is a 53-year-old man from St. Louis who is described in the indictment as a longtime friend of the head coach. Eric Ernest tells a man named Shane Hennon. Shane Hennon is a central figure in the Jonte Porter case. Oh. Shane Hennon is also the man who who gave the gamblers the rigged poker shuffling machines, the card shuffling machines. And so a lot of it, the more you read them, the more you realize that these are a lot of the same figures involved. And two of the biggest gambling stories in the NBA for the past few years are actually connected through this man, Shane Hennon, who was caught trying to flee the country in January of this year with a one-way ticket to Colombia. Photos from his iCloud are included in the indictments.
Okay, so there's a lot of layers here, but essentially what the federal government is laying out is that there is some connection here that they are going to be paying attention to as this continues to unfold. This is a complicated story. There are a lot of layers to it. I encourage you all a little bit later to go check out Ramona's story on ESPN.com. Some really good details there, Ramona. Thank you. Coming up here on NBA Today, we are going to bring it back. I figured we'd continue taking a little trip, go coast to coast. We'll check in on the Eastern Conference, though. We'll start in Chicago with the undefeated, yes, you heard that right, Chicago Bulls. Matas Buzelis, a season-high 27 and a win over the Kings. 4-0 on the season, one of four remaining unbeaten teams. I can't speak today, Shanae, so tell me what's happening in Chicago.
Well, what's interesting is that 86% of the time you make the playoffs if you start 4-0, so signs are looking good in Chicago. They have a pretty well-balanced roster with Giddey at the point guard, Vooch at the center. I do like what they're building. It was a soft rebuild, but it looks like it's working with a wide-open Eastern Conference.
Shanae's stat of the day. Next up, the Hawks. They got a win in Brooklyn. The Atlanta bench, they actually outscored the starters in this one, mainly because Trae Young left in the first quarter with a right knee sprain. So, Perk, how much trouble are they in if he misses any time here?
Well, I mean, they just got to find a way. To me, I looked at their schedule. They could win like 2 out of their next 3 games. And again, I'm going to rely on the guy, Jalen Johnson. I think he's going to have to put this team on his back and show them what he's capable of doing. He had 23 points last night.
Quinn Snyder did say the most important thing is it's not his ACL, which is good news. All right, finally, Jaylen Brown put the Cavaliers in a blender and pressed puree. This buzzer beater was part of his 85th career 30-point game, 6th most in Celtics history. Mr. Windhorst, rocky start. How are we feeling about Boston, though?
Quintessential Jaylen Brown game, doing it at both ends. His jumper was on in this game, hit 7 out of 8 uncontested shots. But defensively, he was also great. The Cavs just 4 of 10 when he was the primary defender, and they had no answer for him at the offensive end. He scored on 5 different Cavs defenders. When Jaylen Brown plays like this, Celtics still dangerous.
Yeah, we were unsure of Donovan Mitchell's status going into this one, but he did play. Their offense, though, hasn't been the same in the early going. They're just 17th offensively after leading the league on that side of the ball last year. But Perk, I hear you spy something on this Cavaliers squad.
I'm Kendrick Perkins, better known as Big Perk, and nothing gets past me. Freeze! Just when you thought it did get past me, there I am. I spy a problem. I spy it all. Carry the hell on. You damn right I spy something. I spy a bunch of cupcakes, creamy in the middle, sweet. That's what I spy when I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Don't come giving me they were embarrassed, they had a horrible offseason, and you come out and you play with not a lack of sense of urgency. On top of that, no effort. And it starts with your people in the middle, including Evan Mobley, okay? And we're looking at this play. We know he's skilled, but to take the next jump, I need to see more effort. The Celtics, one of the worst rebounding teams in the league this season, out-rebounded them. And then we look at this effort right here. Okay, you don't get the long rebound. Now look at this closeout. You are 7 foot, 6'11". Jaylen Brown, 6'6". This is a I hope you miss, not a make you miss contest. If the Cavs are serious about trying to get to the promised land, damn it, you got to have the effort, you got to have the heart, and you cannot be soft and friendly, period.
All right, well, maybe with different adjectives today, but if you're going to drill down into it, why are the Cavaliers struggling so much out the gate?
I don't want to overreact.
Okay.
No DG, Darius Garland, right? So that affects them. But I don't want to overreact because they're 3-2. But I do have an expectation for them to be more competitive. And I know that Donovan Mitchell last year took the step towards leadership, and he's going to go out there and try to will them to be competitive the way he's knocking down threes. But other than that, I just see a lack of force, particularly on the defensive end. This is a team that obviously paced the NBA last year, I think, with overall wins. Yep. They were very intentional about the opportunity each game presents. This was a Celtic squad that was kind of just vibing. This was a Joe Mazzulla quintessential type of game. Everyone shoot threes, and then all of a sudden when there's smoke, there's fire. They gave confidence to their opponents by not dictating. And to me, that's not the standard. When you understand this year, they have a chance to win it all. This is a team that is fully capable when healthy. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, I just noticed the lack of toughness defensively where that should be their bread and butter.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Yeah, so Perk, you mentioned it about their rebounding. They've been out-rebounded for the first 5 games so far. And, you know, last year, not only did they have the #1 offense in the league, but they had the #2 offense in the history of the league based on efficiency. They also were #2 in three-point percentage, and now they're down to 14th. So you take out 3 starters. They're missing Darius Garland, Max Strus, and Sam Merrill right now. And now all of a sudden, when the rebounding isn't as good, it starts to show up. Their margin for error as a team is just much smaller than what they're used to. So those things like Evan Mobley's closeouts and, you know, getting to loose balls, they could get away with C+ efforts on that at times last year. Right now, with their health situation, they can't get away with it, and that's the lesson they've learned of this first 2 weeks.
The legend, 2 things. The legend, DB, did an outstanding job on the call. She mentioned Kenny Atkinson that had to get on them twice at halftime about their effort. Unacceptable. The second part of things is, quick story. My high school coach, when I was playing in high school, he used to always tell me, hey, look, first 3 minutes, I need you to shoot an elbow at the opposing big that you're playing against, right? And if he don't hit you back, you got him. But if he hits you back, you in for a fight. All I'm saying is, at what point are somebody on the Cavs going to be the instigators and not the retaliators? At some point, you got to check the temperature, and it can't come from your guards.
Yeah.
It can't come from your guards. It got to come from your bigs.
Guys, I'm with Shanae. We're only 4 or 5 games into the season, so we're not going to overreact to this. But the Cavaliers.
That's my job.
Fine, then we'll leave it to that side of the table. We know the Cavaliers in any. Well, happy anniversary to Giannis, because it's been 13 years since his debut in 2013. That was against the Knicks. And now he's scored at least 30 points on 60% shooting in every game this season. He becomes the first player to do so in each of his first 4 games of a season in NBA history. And tonight, Giannis is saying to the Warriors, come out to play, which means we get a little full court press. So now joining us from Milwaukee, covering the Bucks for us is Jamal Collier. Covering the Warriors for us is Anthony Slater. But Jamal, I want to start with you on this if I could, because there was a lot of drama surrounding the Milwaukee Bucks. What's going to happen with Giannis this offseason? They look to have settled in. What's working so well with this team around Giannis?
Malika, according to him, it's been his teammates that he's really given the credit to, and really the style of play that the Bucks really focused on revamping this team coming into the season. It looks a lot like the rest of the NBA. They're younger, faster, guys who can switch, really spread the floor and shoot threes. You've got Miles Turner in the addition that he's been able to give him an athletic big man next to Giannis, and those things are really starting to sort of pay off for this Milwaukee team, and that Giannis is now able to spread the floor drive in space and give defenses a tough decision of do you double Giannis and leave these shooters open. And his passing has really leveled up over the last couple of years. He's rebounding at a higher rate. And one more thing, Malika, that somebody told me over the summer that was key. He did not rehab an injury over the summer. He was healthy, was able to sort of go through his normal progression and, you know, really have a normal offseason, going into Eurobasket, winning that bronze medal with Greece. You really just see him kind of picking up where he left off. He's starting the season off feeling really good.
Right, having that normal offseason really can help a player when they're not having to come back from these nicks and knacks and injuries, and you can see the results of that here on the floor. On the other side of this matchup here, Slater, Steve Kerr, he has this Warriors, the big lineup, they're calling it here, in Jimmy, Draymond, Jonathan Kuminga alongside Steph Curry. What have they found there?
Someone call the sheriff. Yeah, you know, you go back to Jimmy Butler coming to this team last year. They were really successful down the stretch, but those three together were not successful. You know, they were a minus 36 and 105 minutes together in the regular season and postseason last year, to the point that Steve Kerr spent the offseason and training camp saying he didn't really believe that they could work together. You know, I talked to Steve at Shoot-Around today. He said even as recently as opening night, that first half in L.A., he was very skeptical about the spacing and the fit of those three. But, you know, the numbers bear out. Look what's happened since then. They're plus 37 now in 74 minutes. Jonathan Kuminga is now a permanent starter. And one of the things that's really done for this team, talking to Kerr today, is it's made them bigger. We know that that's their weakness, right? You know, in a Western Conference that's upsizing in so many ways, they're a small team. But these three together now starting at least makes them positionally bigger to face teams like tonight, Miles Turner and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I'm very curious to see who's going to draw that Giannis assignment, particularly early on. Jimmy Butler's had some very successful minutes on him. We know that Al Horford has been one of the best at guarding both Miles Turner and Giannis in his minutes, so it's going to be interesting to see the way Steve Kerr goes. This is going to be Appointment TV. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We appreciate the time here. Since we're talking about bigs, we got to talk about Nikola Jokic, because he entered Wednesday with the triple-double in every game so far this season, Shanae. He was looking to keep that streak alive against the Pelicans here. And he reunited with his former teammate, DeAndre Jordan. Who could forget how they greet each other?
Very Euro.
I love
very
this.
Euro.
This made me smile. This did not make the Pelicans smile.
No, anytime he's backing people down, know that he is going to be a sleeper with his passing. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. All in the first quarter, he was cooking.
He was halfway to a triple-double in the first quarter alone. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely correct. The Nuggets would go into half leading 53-47. The score's not important, but with these, their big three really is here. So off the Pelicans miss, Jokic gets the rebound, launches it to Peyton Watson, and then back to Jamal Murray for three.
I mean, it looks like synergy.
Good word. Great word.
Great
chemistry.
Word of the day. Again, off the Pelicans miss, a little bit of a theme here. Murray pushing it up in transition. Murray gets the three. Nails that one again.
If they're going to be getting out and running in that altitude, it's going to be problems to win the game.
And Murray has started seasons.
He had to finish that with a dunk.
Yeah.
He had to.
But not this year. Nikola Jokic, 21, 10, and 12, his fourth consecutive triple-double. Nuggets win. And Jokic now has 4 straight triple-doubles, which ties Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook for the longest streak to start a season in NBA history. And after the game, he was asked about what makes it so effortless, what makes it look so effortless, at least.
It's not effortless. I think we need to stop saying that. I'm still running like other guys. I'm still jumping like other guys. You know, so sometimes just the game goes my way, and I have a good night like today. I think it was an okay night, for decent night, whatever, a good night for me. So hopefully it's gonna be like that in the future.
I love that. He's like, guys, stop saying it's effortless. It's not effortless. I'm exuding a lot of effort. But he's a 3-time MVP. He currently leads the league in rebounding and assists. And surprisingly enough, he's never led in either category for an entire season. Maybe this is the year. Is Jokic actually doing something differently, Brian?
Yeah, so David Adelman, the new coach, really looked at last year, and Jokic had the highest scoring average of his career, which sounds good. He also took the most shots and played the most minutes. And they just didn't think that was a good trend because the Nuggets won 7 fewer games than the year before. So this year, they want fewer minutes, fewer shots, more passing to his teammates. You mentioned Murray's off to a great start. Aaron Gordon's off to a good start. The result, 9 fewer points a game, 6 fewer shots than he did last year, and #1 in the NBA in assists. That's a formula the Nuggets like a lot better.
Perk, you said you're the king of overreacting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like a princess here, but tell me if I'm wrong here, okay? The best duo in the NBA is in Denver. The best duo is in Denver. Jokic is already averaging a triple-double, and Jamal Murray, who has yet to be an all-star, which is wild to me, is leading their team in scoring at 27 points per game.
With J-Dub being out, Carl Anthony Towns, no, you're right.
Oh, wait, sorry. Well, excuse me?
You're right.
Louder.
Wait, a little louder with your chest?
You're right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I think it's a great start for Denver.
It's been an awesome start for Denver. We expected that they were going to have a good year after the offseason that we had. All of us loved the additions that they made, but it's really clicking out the gate. They were the last team to start the season, and they have wasted no time. Perk, what was your word earlier? Synergy?
Yes, synergy.
You got a couple more for us? You got to go into the thesaurus for a little bit, because I do want to play a little Western fill-in-the-blank here so we can all expand our vocab. Let's start with Ja Morant, because he hit a go-ahead bucket, 7.6 seconds left in the fourth quarter to give the Grizzlies a win against the Suns. So, Wendy, I'm going to start with you here. Fill in the blank. Ja Morant, he will be blank this season.
He's always intriguing because he's always doing something to make you drop your jaw or slap your head. I don't know why the Suns were not up on him at the end of this game. This is the 7th time in his career he's hit a shot in the last 10 seconds to go ahead. They let him open the door, and he slammed it. Look at this. Come on, get up on him. The job was awesome, finishing his best game of the season so far last night.
All right, next up, Cooper Flagg. He had a thunderous dunk as part of a double-double performance in a win against the Pacers, so maybe he's starting to get his feet under him a little bit. Even dropped a little too small. Did you see that, Janae, on Mac McClung in this game? Look on someone your own size. Fill in the blank. Cooper Flagg's too small was blank.
It was perfectly petty. This is a show that loves to be there, and I like it because rookie year is not easy. It's going to be difficult, especially with a lot of the ball handling responsibility he wears on his shoulders. So he needs to feel confident, and the best way is to move people out of the way. You see the hair was flying, and then say you're a little too small. I like a confident Cooper.
I like a confident Cooper, and I also like guys who are having fun. There's nothing wrong with that. What do you say? Shall we stick in Texas? Kevin Durant finished the night with 31 points. That's his 50th career 30-point game after turning 35 years old.
Crazy.
Perk, fill in the blank. Kevin Durant's game ages like?
Jay-Z lyrics, because Jay-Z lyrics hold, his lyrics don't age.
Period.
KG game for us getting buckets is not going anywhere. Damn it, he's still averaging 27 points per game. And what is he, 38? 38, so walking bucket, that's what my comparison is.
So you're saying that KD can still go bar for bar with the rest of the NBA?
Just like there. Reasonable doubt style.
Don't miss an NBA nightcap next Saturday when Devin Booker and the Suns, they head to LA to face Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and the Clippers. Coverage gets started with NBA Countdown. We'll be back with you at 10 o'clock Eastern. Shifting now to some breaking news. Our thoughts are with Oklahoma City Thunder guard Nikola Topic, who has begun chemotherapy treatment after being diagnosed with testicular cancer. That's what General Manager Sam Presti told reporters today. Now, Presti said that doctors are, quote, extremely positive about the long-term outlook for Topic, the number 12 pick in the 2024 draft, who sat out last season while recovering from a torn ACL. We are wishing him all the best. Now, Sam Presti expanded on this morning, saying, quote, our only expectations for him are to focus on this. This is his most important priority. He'll be back playing basketball when he's able to, but we're not putting any time length or expectation. Facing off against Cade Cunningham in Detroit. This is the up-and-coming Eastern squads here. This one started off a little fun. Banchero, he drives. Okay, so he's fouled here, Shanae, by Tobias Harris, but look at the trash talk before the free throw.
Here for it.
So he says that.
But Tobias is nice.
And then he says that. And then he misses the first.
Okay.
And then he misses the second.
Getting awkward.
But it's all in good fun. He finished with 24, 11, 7 assists for the game. The Magic enter halftime down by 1. So let's go to the third. Magic up by 3. Jalen Suggs gets it in transition. Attempt.
Hold up, wait a minute.
What a block.
Snatched.
That's what you want to see your best player do.
And then Duncan Robinson
Energizes.
Then come down and drop a dime.
5-point swing.
You got to take another look at
Oh,
that.
my God.
That's what you call not being afraid of embarrassment. I'm going to get there.
Get there.
Game all
People
tied at
would've moved out the
70.
way.
And a mug.
In the fourth quarter, the Pistons up 9. Cunningham getting to work down low. Gets the bucket to go and 1.
Oh, and one sign.
I yell that at the TV every time now.
Yay.
Pistons up by 12
I should go
after free
trademark
throws.
it.
All right, Cunningham finishing touches on this one. He finished with 30 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks in this one as well. After he recorded his second career game with 30, 10, no turnovers, by the way. Did we mention that? It's already the most such games in Pistons history since turnovers became official in the late 70s, tied for 6th in NBA history. So things are bright with the motorcade, who caught up with Vince Goodwill. Take a listen.
Let's go, let's go. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Good. Oh, yeah!
Last year, you were just trying to get to playing meaningful basketball March and April. The expectations for this season, I would think, would be a little bit different.
First round last year was an amazing experience for everybody. I think we all learned something from it. We all took something from it, and we all have a chip on our shoulder because of that series.
Brunson stops on a dime, launches. Oh, yeah!
Game 6, Jalen Brunson closes you guys out. Are you one of those people that you've watched the game millions of times, hundreds of times, or do you let it go, you wash it, and it just sort of sits with you?
I watched it a couple times. There's moments where I'll fast forward when I know it's something that I don't want to see coming up. But I think it's just part of the learning experience. I feel like I have to see it just so I could learn from it more than anything. I think there was a lot that I took from it that has helped me get prepared for this season for sure.
Even before the team got good last year, Kevin Durant said that you were legit. LeBron said that you were the #1 pick for a reason. What does that mean to you to have your, not even your peers, these are guys who have been doing it for decades, give you that sort of validation?
All those guys, man, I was a kid admiring their games. They've been doing it for so long. They helped teach me what it looks like to be a star at the NBA level. To have them giving me words of advice, to have them saying to the media, like, nah, he can play, it means a lot. I'm honored to be spoken of like that.
Are you someone that feels like you can be a face of the NBA?
I'm not the person that's going to be putting my face on everything, like, oh, I'm the new face of the NBA. I do my best to be a great face for this organization. My job is to, be the best version of myself for the Detroit Pistons, for the Cunningham family, and just represent.
It seems like you have embraced Detroit almost from the moment that you were picked #1. Like, you're not from the area, you're not from the region, you're from Dallas. What made you embrace this place immediately?
I think the culture is #1. They love the sports teams. They love being from Detroit. That was something I wanted to be a part of, and the history of the Pistons is unmatched. This franchise is a legend of the NBA, and to be a part of it while it was down, to try to help bring it back up to the top, I thought it was a huge opportunity that I wanted to be a part of and I wanted to take on.
It's been a little bit of an uneven start to the season for Detroit, but I think last night was a reminder why Cade is a cornerstone of this franchise. Has there been one particular part, Sinead, that's impressed you so far about his game?
So I was going through this thought exercise. Yeah. Who are the best big guards in the NBA? Obviously, #1, Luka Doncic. But outside of him, he's probably like, the way he's playing, he's #2. 30 points, 10 assists, plus 27 from the floor. And this is why I say he's a big guard, because he brings the ball up for Detroit. Check out these plays. He's so good when they set him screens in transition. They call these drag screens. First, he makes himself available, and Stu takes patience to set the perfect screen. They get a good screen here, and then he's downhill. Then he makes advanced reads as a big guard. How many guys are looking, based on his talents, at Cade? Too many, about 3 or 4. Then he drops it down. Again, 10 assists last night because he takes his time. No one can rush him. All right, let's talk about his scoring. On this double drag set, where that means 2 post players are setting screens, he can not only get passes, another great screen right there, but he can dot you in the eye from 3. Look at that closeout. It does not matter. He is unfazed. And last but not least, this big guard likes to play bully ball. Back it down in a mismatch, tough floater, and 1-son. The defense comes over. It's too late. He is the heart and soul of Detroit. And I'm like, oh, he's climbing up the ranks with his greatness.
And the crazy thing is, I love what you said about the big guards, because it's him, it's Luka.
Yeah, Perk cut his fingers out.
Yeah, because
like,
it's SGA, because SGA is 6'6", and they all love go to the post. And if you want to throw big body Brunson in there, you can as well. I know he's 6'2".
But I feel like Shea's a little bit more true guard. I'm talking about like big.
Yeah, but he play big. He but he play big. But what I'm saying, it's the maturity of Cade Cunningham. And I was with Coach Bickerstaff this summer, right, in Vegas, and we got an opportunity to talk. And that's the main thing he kept saying. He's like, Perk, it's all about his family. It's all about basketball. It's all about film room. It's all about, and when you hear your coach raving and praising about you behind the scenes, not in your face, not in the public eye, you like, damn, he really got.
That's
I was
how you
like,
know it's real.
Yeah.
But both the Magic and the Pistons, Brian, they're sort of teetering on being judged differently, right? Not as the cute up-and-coming story anymore, but in an Eastern Conference that really has some opportunity in it. They're being judged on, can they join the class of the East? Would you agree?
Yeah, Detroit's been sort of an start Orlando start is flat out bad. This loss last night drops them to 1-4. They made huge investments in the offseason to upgrade their offense. They are in the bottom 5 in the NBA in offense, three-point percentage, three-point makes. Desmond Bane, the guy that they spent 4 first-round drafts, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to acquire, is off to a rough start. He actually had his best shooting night of the year so far last night, but just 27% out of the gate. It's not all about him. Their whole team is underachieving right now. So their next couple of games are against Washington and Charlotte. They need to make a turn here, because if they continue off to a poor start, the pressure is going to start mounting there.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a wet raspberry here, but this is not going to help. I think we started this segment with the Jalen Suggs with his dunk attempt and that incredible block.
A wet raspberry?
Yeah, I think
that's a Halloween, and we're already getting in the spirit.
Spooky.
Yeah, Wemby's spooky. He's just the 4th player with at least 30 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks per game. In the first 4 games of a season since blocks became official, he joined Shaq, Hakeem, and Ewing. Not bad company. So joining NBA Today, our reporter Michael C. Wright, who will be at Frostbank Center for tonight's Wemby sighting. Michael, how are the Spurs preparing for the Heat and the top scoring offense? That's what Miami is in the NBA.
That's right. Well, Malika, I'll tell you, these teams did face off in the preseason, but this Miami Heat team is a totally different beast. So Spurs coach Mitch Johnson and the rest of the staff, they have made these guys watch tons of film, and they've even simulated Miami speed. Like, they keep telling them this team is playing faster than anybody else in the league, and the stats bear that out in terms of the pace. Now, Julian Champagnie, he told us flat out yesterday that, hey, we need to play defense in this game. Communication is going to be key in transition, but they're also expecting to play a lot of one-on-one ball. Julian Champagnie said that it's all going to come down to taking pride in staying in front of your man. Now, Miami's bigs, they're going to propose a real challenge for the Spurs, because the Spurs are lacking in front court depth right now. Luke Kornet will miss his 3rd consecutive game with a sprained left ankle. And if you go back to the early part of the season, Luke was very instrumental in sort of keeping San Antonio's defense afloat whenever Victor Wembanyama was off on the floor.
Michael, thank you so very much for that insight on how the Spurs are approaching this game. We really appreciate it. I want to bring Brian, Shanae, and Kendrick back into the conversation here. Brian, sorry, government name, was that Park? Wendy, how about that? Who has the advantage tonight? The team who has scored the most points in the league, or the Great Wall of Wemby?
Yeah, well, this is going to be a little bit of a validation opportunity for the Spurs, because, yes, they're undefeated, but their last 3 teams they've beat, New Orleans, Brooklyn, and Toronto, have 1 win between them. Now this is a team coming into Miami who's the #1 offense in the league, and they're running a completely different style. Yes, they're playing fast. They're running the fewest pick and rolls in the NBA. They're playing completely different than you see a lot of teams out there. A lot of flow, a lot of freedom of movement. It's going to take a lot of patience and focus by the Spurs tonight. Spurs get this one, you can really, really be impressed with their start.
Also a big test for Wemby, right? Because we know Spo like to throw out all type of stuff. We don't know if he's going to run a 1-3-1 or 2-3 zone, so Wemby is going to have to figure out a lot. And also the front line of the Miami Heat, Ware and Bam Adebayo.
I agree with you, Kendrick. Kendrick.
Well, Wemby did say the Spurs have never started 5-0 in franchise history. He wants to be the guy, Kendrick, to be able to get that done. Friends, tomorrow it is Halloween. I promise you, you're going to want to tune into the show to see our